We working it. Let's see. It says I'm offline. Okay. But is this ever gonna like... There we go. Okay. What's going on? Happy Sunday. Should we bet on some football, like retroactively, a little after the fact? Let's play some bets. These are the type of bets that a lot of the FBI, the Justice Department, look into because of the strangeness of the disproportionate bets, the prop bets, weird things that happen intra-game where you have a more complete information set of like momentum or injuries intra-game. And so it's harder to see fraud and weird betting combinations because it's like, okay, in the game itself, you're policing like these certain bets. So oftentimes they'll cap you. But like I wanted to place a bet once. They wanted to move the line on me per every certain amount, like thousands of dollars of increments. Like, okay, each time you bet $1,000, let's say, they wanted to move the line, which is just disgusting. So it's like, how much do you want to bet? Well, you're killing me with the line. After a certain threshold, each $1,000 bet, it's like you're getting back like $50 in every grand. It's like, that's insane. Why would you do that? And it's because they're trying to balance their book. Doesn't make any sense to do that, like unless there's an imbalance, and like to do that to a customer is kind of disgusting. But for random things like tennis, they don't really give a shit. They don't find you particularly attractive for their business. So people are streaming, so I thought I'd stream right now. I'm like following the leader. I kind of have a headache, but I thought I'd do something and probably not do any streams next week because I'm going away for Christmas. So this will be the final one where I talk about I like Denver. Jacksonville's quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, is a long release, and so under the pressure, he's going to have a harder time. It's more than likely the speed of that defense is going to get to him, so it's a good bet. Right now, you're laying out, let's see what are the odds. DraftKings also opened their event-based betting, I think, in like 52 states, or it was at least over 30. Sportsbook. They've also made it harder to like access their site without a membership just to get the line. Here we go. Okay. Let's see here. So minus 230 Broncos, even though it's 7-7, it's home game. Yeah, I'd still lay that down on the money line. I think it's a pretty good bet. Cold weather, top tier team in Jacksonville, minus 230. I'll take it. Take it all the way. Use Kelly criterion as you will. Raiders, Texans, pretty easy game to bet on. Even if like you would have an injury, I like the Texans big there. Minus 4,800. Points are minus 18. I mean, it's just not a bet you can even place. So skip that. No. Pittsburgh, Lions. It's the firepower of the Lions. It's at home. Minus 260. I would go with Pittsburgh plus the points here and just do like a quarter Kelly or something like that. I like the value proposition of plus 100, 4.5 points. I'll take the points in Pittsburgh. The money line's minus 260, the Lions 195 plus the Steelers. So I like that. Ravens, Patriots, that's going to be at 7:20 for Sunday Night Football. Both teams are the Ravens. What's the Ravens record? Ravens are 7-7. Are they in playoff contention? Yes, they have a real chance. So a lot going on there at home. Yeah, I'll take the Ravens all day, minus 198 on the money line. Plus 164 for the Patriots. I'll take the Ravens all the way. It's do or die. I know Lamar Jackson's been injured off and on all year, but it's go time. So, big football town. I'd argue in many ways up until recently with the drafting Jaden Daniels in Washington, D.C., that like Baltimore was really the football part. Like that was the football city in D.C. People kind of check out. The offseason is for the Commanders or the Washington Redskins because it's the hope that they might actually not suck. Once the season starts and they suck, everything reverts back to the Ravens. I'm not a big fan, I'll say, of like fair weather fanry, like you're just betting on a team or you like your team because they're your team and they're always good. That's actually boring. I think it's more interesting to like a team that sucks because you always are delusional and hopeful. You look at the players, like what if this 7th round 5'10" guy who runs a 4.4, he might be the missing piece, Maybe it's much more fun than like you're a Patriots fan in like the early 2000s. It's like, or mid 2000s, like give me a break. It's kind of like the worst thing in the world. It's just boring. It's like you're gonna win all. That's when I realized I really enjoyed statistical arbitrage or arbitrage in general, or finding, opportunities where you could find positive EV, that the statistical anomalies in sports are fun. Just like in the stock market. Finding deep value is what's fun. Winning football games, mindlessly playing Madden. I was the kid that would simulate the games and try to like find good trade deals. I would look at like ESPN.com and look at stats and try to create my own wins above replacement for any player in free agency. That's what's interesting. The winning team that's better than everyone else is just kind of not really interesting to me. Football, I don't know what happened. Sports started to like fall off for me a lot. I hope it doesn't happen for tennis and hockey. I still enjoy those, but basketball got really woke. Football's timeouts, so the ads, I got sick of it. Ad after ad after a touchdown, ad, kickoff, then another ad. I'm not in the flow of the game. Like, it'd be one thing if the camera was directly on the field and there were like side ads. I could kind of feel it. But when you're just, a fan, it's like, this is too much. I can't handle it. And they've added a game. They just closed down their bets. That's weird. No available bets at the moment. They shut down their money line? Nah, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, it's back. Okay. Maybe no available bets for... No, okay, it's back. What else? 49ers, Colts, it's the last one. I mean, you got to go with the 49ers. I actually think that's probably one of the best bets of the day or for tomorrow for Monday Night Football. I would bet heavy 49ers, Colts. Phillip Rivers is a guy... If you look at arm strength, people will say it's not the most important thing. But if you accompany arm strength with mobility, with like accuracy dependent on arm strength, i.e. your arm strength is so bad that you're inaccurate and you cannot make all the NFL throws, there's a thing to this. So imagine you're a quarterback like Ken Dorsey and Rex Grossman coming out back in the day. Was it 2000-ish, 2003? Rex Grossman, Florida, Ken Dorsey, Miami. A lot of people like Ken Dorsey. You get to the combine, Ken Dorsey's balls are fading before they even get to the receiver with no coverage, just at the combine on air. The NFL ball, the college ball is a little bit different, like the actual football, so maybe people just couldn't tell, but like it was shocking how weak of an arm that Ken Dorsey had. Now take that same idea and apply that to the NFL when you're behind in football games, i.e. it's the third quarter, you're down by 2 scores, the defense is playing off, and there's tighter coverage down the field. They're giving you stuff underneath, which is like the bread and butter of people like Phillip Rivers. After the age of 33, Phillip Rivers' arm really started to fall. It became abundantly clear that like he could not make all the throws situationally. He might be able to make the throw on air, unlike Ken Dorsey in that horrible combine performance. But what he could not do is throw the ball into tight fucking windows when he needed to push it down the field beyond 15 yards into tight coverage. Not even double coverage, just the team had safeties nearby. They were playing cover 3. They were like, it was a lot of traffic, He couldn't do it. And now, based on what I saw from last week, minus 250 49ers. Like, I don't care who their quarterback is. Matt Jones, Brock Purdy on one leg. It's not. It's like all in, mortgage your house, bet on the 49ers tomorrow, period. Shoot, if it wasn't for the fact that I have a flight on Tuesday, I would fly to Vegas and place this bet myself. So, there's that. Beardson is talking about Fishback. Clavicular is on doing MMA. So he's dude. Clav doing 200 milligrams of test. Let me just type this. Hold on. You back? You back? Phone. There he goes. My phone keeps starting to connect because the fucking thing with the USB-C. The 200 milligrams of test with no working out. Just take Retta. I don't think you need to worry about it. His body does not look like that dude takes 200 milligrams. 200 milligrams of test, if your diet's in place, will make you look like a freak show. I think your estrogen will be a little high. I imagine he has to be on an AI. And then the hair stuff. That level of testosterone for most people will cause some hair loss, period. When I was on like 200 milligrams, I felt bloated. I actually got fat because I overate. I at first was burning so many calories because your maintenance calories, your maintenance metabolic rate goes up by maybe a factor of 600-700 calories a day. But then you realize how quickly you're losing weight when you body recomp after the first month or even a few weeks, and you like think you can eat anything, and then you get fat. You start eating pizzas and cheeseburgers, and it doesn't hit you right away. It doesn't even hit you right away if you were natty the same way. It's even longer. And then it stacks up, and then one day your pants don't fit. We talked about this the other day. It's called fat blindness. I have it. Other people have it. You don't know when you're getting fat until you have to go to work and none of your pants fit you, and you almost get fired. You get called in the office because your boss is like, "Why the fuck are you wearing Lululemons? This is a hedge fund." You know. So, let's see what he says here. Hold on.
First thing to get dialed in. Then I'm like, okay, we'll fucking build it back up.
Yeah, you just gotta get a routine. You just got down here, what, like 3 months ago, you said?
Yeah, 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I was working out at the beginning, but I kind of started like blowing up content-wise after that, so now I'm just trying to go like pedal to the metal with everything.
No, you gotta focus on this, bro. Like, when I was, like, I blew up when I was like 22, like the fastest knockout in the UFC or whatever, and I didn't like capitalize on it, I just ignored it, because I was like, I was too cool, I guess. I probably had too much pride and ego to like be, because I respect the shit out of what you're doing, to be honest. Like, it takes balls. I was telling him, like, you're brave, bro.
Thank you.
Like, you're brave.
Yeah, he's giving you
like, you're literally willing to go out and embarrass yourself in front of the world. And it's not embarrassing. The thing is, like, it's just how people perceive things, right? Like, people are dumb because they're living on.
Yeah, man, that's what I've always thought about. It's just like, who's actually typing this message?
Right.
And like,
No, but you handle it well. You go, and I was like, fuck, I got mad respect. Like, I remember when I started getting death threats on Facebook, I was like 21 in Vegas, and I was like livid.
yeah.
Like, my dad had just died, and they were like celebrating that shit, and I was like, fuck these guys. It kind of like, it for you for being open, and I think that's a huge thing people don't understand. Like, you can either be closed off or closed off, and they're not living life.
Yeah.
You are. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, I'm not trying to give you a hype speech, but it's something to be respected, and I just don't think people understand.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's my own personal anger from my, like, the shit I've got.
Well, you just get so desensitized to it. It's like, we've got these CTS donos that'll be like, somehow they'll fucking have the voice of like an ex-girlfriend of mine saying she's getting like fucked by like 50 people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like, once you hear that kind of shit, like every 5 minutes, it's...
They're not real people.
I'm like, thanks for the $5. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it just gets heavily desensitized.
Have you been out to Vegas yet?
No, thank.
When I walk, I know that I look oafish. My friend who graduated, went to Harvard. It's really nice when you have motherfucker. We good? Okay. It's really nice when you have friends that are like more talented than you that want to hang out with you. Like if you have a bunch of friends that like went to really good universities and like are very talented people when you're a kid, there's something about you that endeared them or endeared you to them or endeared them to you. Both. I had a friend who took a picture of me when I was like walking, like this hunch, this like bad posture, no muscle mass, slouched shoulders, and we created an album cover called Oaf Coldplay, like the new Coldplay album, and it's like, yeah, I think when I walk back that way to the fridge every time I get like a Red Bull for the stream, I look like it reminds me of that, and it makes me think about what is better, obsessed about like health and like going to the gym and taking exogenous hormones. And I take them because I have an autoimmune disorder to survive and actually function, have my brain work to a degree. Also, there's a downside to that, but you know, I'm not going to get into it. Then there's the other thing of, or am I like smarter back then where I really just enjoyed making people laugh all the time, didn't care about competition whatsoever, didn't care about like winning at all, didn't care about money or anything. I was just happy-go-lucky 24/7. I really enjoyed my writing. I enjoyed like that and being creative, but to like beat other people or to make more money, I didn't care about that at all. And so is growing up, is that really just like a delusion of conformity where you're like, you know, and then you make like, say you make $10 million, then you're like, okay, now what? Like, do you stop? Like, do you just like be a hermit or a weirdo that just travels and doesn't do anything? And like, you know, or you're like, no, you should leverage your resources and make 100 million. If you find someone, you spend time with them, is that too much of like a cop out of like your ego is like needing something, so you use a woman because you can afford to take care of her for that like affirmation? Is that a weird thing? Like you've tricked yourself? When does the war end? Like when is it done? Like the war, the inner war, the war with other competitors, ideally women, because they're feeble and you could beat the shit out of them. Kidding. But they're in the workplace, you know, they're starting hedge funds, they're doing their thing, they're everywhere. So I'm an equal opportunity vendor. If you're in the arena, you know, but like winning and like being competitive and like every relationship seems to be this like quid pro quo. Like this is kind of disgusting. I never wanted to be part of it. And I was raised by a single mom who because of that is why I didn't want to be part of it and why I didn't think I needed to, because it came from like, I was kept. And like when I think about like maybe Clav's got it right. He's like not going to the gym. He's working on his business, which is like not for me necessarily, but like it's, you know, I wish I looked like him in some ways and other things like that. And I wish that I could like play this character that's like, I don't know, whatever. And that's your job. I think a lot of people don't like they look down on him, or they look down on people that like do that content creation, and it's like, who are you? You have to get up tomorrow at 6:00 and suck dick all day long. You have to make your boss rich, and you get paid like your $150,000 year salary, and like that's your life. You have to take out a mortgage, and you have to like pay for it, otherwise they'll take your house away. It's like, or you can be like Logan Paul and move to Puerto Rico so you don't have to pay taxes and like fly bitches in you see on Instagram. This one. It's like DiCaprio shit. It's like a completely different lifestyle. Like this all ends, you know? Like it all ends. I gotta put money aside for my taxes, make sure like my rent's paid and whatever. It's like, this is like, it seems like such a cucked life, doesn't it? Like, why do you want to be part of that? Like, why is that like responsible? Holden Caulfield, yes please. But I'd rather just be one of the, the people in the vat, like plugged into the Matrix sometimes, where it's like the Matrix is the prison that we impose upon ourselves in the real world. We think that that is the correct thing. You should be part of the system. Okay. What's going on? Asmongold, what are you doing?
That we aren't getting the truth about who these men were on Rape Island, that we started sounding the alarm. And this is more documents of nothingness. And I guess the question the American people have, even to me, is the system so corrupt? Is the system so corrupt that Thomas Massie and you defy the odds, pass a bill through a discharge petition, get the Senate, get the president to sign it, and still these rich and powerful people are being protected? Who has this kind of hold on our government? What are they hiding? Why are they not releasing this?
Exactly. It's just all common sense questions.
Well, you want what? People involved in those initial investigations down in Florida re-examined and possibly prosecuted?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Epstein thing is a national security issue. Plain and simple. From who was the DA? It was I want to say Sheriff Arpaio. It's not that guy. It's some guy who went up and became a bigger player. What was his name? The Palm Beach DA that said verbatim, "We can't touch this guy. He's intelligence." Anyway, the whole thing is like intelligence beyond reproach. I think it's a cross-agency deal. I think the whole like Lolita Express or using young girls to blackmail powerful people and keep them under the control of the state or states or a system of like Western intelligence, inclusive of the Middle East, inclusive of Israel. I think that is definitely plausible, and it's something that's been going on for a long time. It's the reason why Eyes Wide Shut was shut down by the studios, perhaps a little too on the nose. I mean, was P. Diddy the first person to be part of that in blackmailing operations with like, weird gay download brother stuff in Hollywood and like the music industry? Probably not. Was he the proprietor and the originator of that idea to leverage? Probably not. Someone teach him that? Probably. Did someone impose or insist that he do this? Maybe. From like the outset of the original, I mean, his in Florida, forget the stuff that was said or not applied. He had a very weird felony charge where he didn't have to go to prison, and he spent it all in county time in kind of this private area of the jail where he had a whole pod of like different cells for inmates, but it was all for him. And he could, at one point, he would just hang out and just chill, and then like eventually he could go to work, like he could leave, go to his house, and then go back to the jail to sleep. Like that was, and this is all very bizarre. I think some of the girls were like well-heeled, like Palm Beach day school girls. They weren't all just like, poor like Eastern European women from modeling agencies or whatever. I think there was a lot more to it. It's this whole thing when Clinton was impeached for the Monica Lewinsky thing, and then Monica Lewinsky was a Mossad agent. The Jonathan Pollard case, I think Netanyahu was insisting that he be released, and that was part of the leverage involved. And I think Clinton said no. Would have been bad press for Clinton. But I don't know if he was up for re-election. This is so long ago. I haven't really thought about that. But that was definitely involved. He was asked to release Jonathan Pollard. And some people think when you have these guys like holding back information for a case involving like players from the 90s. This is like 30 years ago. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what really is the problem? What is there? Well, the issue is that some of the information more than likely involves a national security threat to the United States because of how vast it is. It involves multiple agencies, possibly program names that people don't want to like reverse engineer to find the source. That it's a unilateral CIA, Mossad agency thing, and they use children. I mean, not like 12-year-olds necessarily, but perhaps in some cases, but more than likely like girls that were like just under 18 something. Plausible deniability for rich guys. Oh, that girl's, yeah, she's a model. They're all tall, so she's probably like 20 or something. Like, it gives a false illusion that you're safe. That's what I think he did, which is pretty smart. Most models are forced to retire when they're 30. They start them at 14. All the models in New York runway are at least 5'9". Do you see how this can become a problem? You know, most women are retarded, so like a 15-year-old that's retarded versus a 25-year-old that's retarded that's 5'11". How do you know? You know? So, not making excuses. I'm saying it was done to entrap people, you know, after the fact. It wasn't like To Catch a Predator where you see it's like, hi, I'm Chris Hansen. You weren't, this isn't you, and he reads off the transcript, and they purposely catch the guy so that they like, I'm only 14 years old, like the cop that's pretending to be the 14-year-old girl says. That didn't happen. It wasn't like that. This was a leverage play based off of the consequence of the events. Like, you are very wealthy. It's not a question of, is someone extorting you and that's a felony. It's like, it doesn't matter. This will get out and you'll be ruined. Hundreds of millions of dollars are at stake. Hence why Leon Black paid Epstein $137 million, something like that, for tax advice, or like for something, maybe like a blackmail payment, but really that was designed to, you know, protect himself, like a suppression payment of information. Sure. One second. It's so interesting, you guys, like Dan Bongino, one of the top conservative podcasters in the entire world, or in the United States, I should say. In the world of conservative podcasting, the world of podcasting, he's up there. I never watched his show, but people like that shit, you know? Tattoos, trucker hat, says MAGA, camouflage, t-shirts, those people. These guys, like a guy like him, is brought into the government. It's like a psyop. It's a complete operation. We want to fortify MAGA. So we're going to have like famous people. It's like hiring Brad Pitt to be your Secretary of State. It's just the same. It's exactly the same thing. And now, because of the culture war online, this sort of like franicide in the right, it actually serves MAGA and JD Vance for 2028 to have someone like Dan Bongino working back as a podcaster. And that's why he's leaving the agency, the FBI. And then you have people like Kash Patel. I don't really know why he was chosen. He's very incompetent, very stupid. Has this like no business. I have to look into that more. Like, I don't really understand the astroturfing there. Could have been anyone else. Maybe because he's Indian, and that's another thing. It's like a weird like Indian application of like, look, this is social terraforming. Look, we have an Indian FBI director. We have an Indian vice president or president of the United States, first lady, Usha Vance, like that type of thing. They want to make you like conditioned to feel comfortable, like slowly but surely. We have Vivek Ramaswamy representing white middle America in Ohio for the influx of the H-1B ones, you know. Oh, very good. It's it's not good, man. It's not good at all. We have to import cheap labor because we're not strong enough to like devalue our currency to zero, because we've given that up. We've sacrificed that for the sake of a trade deficit and having the US dollar be the reserve currency of the world. So we have to do it a different way. That's probably one of the reasons why, one of them, other than national security issues, national pride, and the fact that Indians have never built anything in their own country, why China's never brought in the Jeets. to be even cheaper labor for their own, organizations and private enterprises. There's something beautiful about like nationalistic pride. There's something beautiful about people well dressed at the airport that are not stacked in sardine containers, but like are like smoking a cig while you have a steak dinner on an airplane wearing a suit with a woman that is a solid 7 serving you a cocktail is peak America. That's equivalent to the 1950s Detroit with being the richest city of the world. Chrysler, when Ford was like the most powerful company, market cap in the world. That was the good old days. And so, like a Fuente, I'm trying to think of like what should be the phrase for this. A Fuentian musing would be something like, what does winning mean? Pedophiles getting away with shit, Jewish oligarchs running society, multiculturalism to the point where the idea of being American doesn't hold any value, not even in the sense of like American values are colorblind, it's a meritocracy. But what is the culture? That's where people are like, I don't know that I like this. That's why some people are rooting for a multipolar world, because there'll be less immigration. People will want to live in better like communities. There'll be more competition, less oppression, a stronger middle class, more than likely. But yeah, I'm sure Indians want to live around Indians, and like white people want to live around white people. This is not a crazy like idea. I think 90% or 87%, some number like this, of India is rural, and 77% of those people defecate in the street, the rural ones. This is disturbing. The infrastructure, I mean, how many like multi-billion-dollar companies are there in India? What is the disproportionate, what is the like level of income relative to like the wealthy, the proportion of like middle class, Western comparable incomes in India, and then like how large is what is the poverty rate, and like how vast is that? And when you start to see stuff like this, you realize that this is like an economy that is not doing well, and the opening of foreign direct investment into India is only going to make this worse. So, yeah, that's not good. I mean, nationalism is a good thing for everybody. So, like Vicente Fox, President Coca-Cola becoming president of Mexico, that's a disturbing thing. That's not an attractive thing. The Americanization of our friends down south. I mean, it was so funny that if you want to stop fentanyl, if you want to stop cocaine, why aren't we building why aren't we annexing part of Mexico? What is that? Shine bomb? Like we really give a fuck? Like we couldn't stop them? The Mexican military is not going to do anything. Shine bomb says that U.S. involvement there would be a breach of national security or a breach of Mexican sovereignty. Great. What is blowing up fishing boats in Venezuela? Like the most southern point of South America, shared by, is it Argentina and Chile, and that's Tierra del Fuego, and Venezuela is right there, and we're trying to say, well, that's the source of the heroin. Oh, isn't fentanyl coming from China? Where do you buy your cocaine? I know I don't buy it from Venezuela. So it's just this like never-ending like circle jerk where people complain online about the corruption, but then it goes nowhere. And, really, you should form your own militia. I'm trying to think of all the acronyms I remember from, like, Southern militia groups, like South American militia groups. The IRA in Ireland. Like, what are they doing about, like, whatever his name, Enoch Brooke, the judge that sentenced him? Or their friends. They must have some loyalist friends that are upset about what's happening under Keir Starmer. Where are they? Like, everyone is cucked. Someone breaking into your house that doesn't have a gun but a taser to arrest you for retweeting The fact that you won't throw the cop out the window, like you're literally not able to defend yourself, like you're just like, you just take it up the ass, you like get scared and hide in your bedroom until they take you out. That's what's funny. I'm surprised there's not enough. Maybe there is. This is happening. There's not enough coverage of like retaliatory violence against such oppressive acts against the people. Democracy and free speech is arguably more of a French trait that we copied and adopted than it is an English one. But our ancestors coming from an oppressive Anglican church, what is the oppression of the current regime there other than a way of controlling people before the disproportionate gap in wealth gets so extreme that people can't take it anymore? Like, I think that's the goal. Like, what they're doing now is trying to scare people because they're going to get really angry when they find out how rich people are getting and how like impossible it will be for them to do so. It's not even a question of skill. It's just like there's going to be a disproportionate downturn in asset turnover from people that are middle class to millionaires. The wealth effect will be more centralized just because of where it's coming from today. And building kind of new intelligence devices that create their own products and their own disruption is almost impossible for a knowledge-based worker to compete with that. So that where does that leave you? Let's check something here. Always hoping someone replies to what I say on this Substack thing. I like to reply to other people's Substacks. It's like a means of support. I think if 4 or 5 days old, they just stop replying to their shit. But I liked my comment. I disagree with this person a lot. Michael Berry. I just don't agree with, there's a reason why you close your hedge fund and then you open a Substack. And it's not necessarily good provided that do I have to pay? Did he drop the payment thing? Because that was unbelievable. Who's going to pay? Like, why are you, pay? Aren't you, retired? I'm so confused. Okay, so these are locked. So, okay. Upgrade to pay. $379 a year. Yeah. What about a student? $379 a year is nothing. I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't care about making money from this stuff. I like just to talk. If you're already conceivably have $10+ million to your name, I would imagine. Otherwise, you keep your fund open and tell your investors not to withdraw. Just give you another shot, because that's basically what he admitted to. Is yeah, I suck. I don't know how to invest in anything. But subscribe to my Substack where I talk to you about and give you investment advice. Huh? What? Sorry, this does not compute, sir. So let's see here. What can we look at? So clavicular's at 32,000. Bro, what is he doing? Is he jacking off or something?
But crazy just means you arrive too early.
Yeah, that's right, bro.
It's really, I'm serious. Most of my life I've been called crazy. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
Yep. And I made some videos about that. Like a prediction. I said, 5 years from now, jaw surgeries and all this
surgeries.
all this intervention is going to be the norm, and everyone's calling.
It's funny. You're flying around everywhere, and you're you're doing all this stuff in these clubs and producing all the content. But your parents take away your passport to get your Lafort L3 jaw surgery and facial transformation, where they push everything forward. Nah, that's a grift. He's good looking enough. He wouldn't take the risk of a surgery like that in Turkey. He'd do it with a top surgeon here. Craig Dufresne, I remember in Bethesda, Maryland, helped young people with Treacher Collins syndrome, all that stuff, wonderful stuff. There's Dr. Yarmachuk was really good. Dr. Ramirez, until he killed someone, was really good because he didn't have proper the proper defibrillator. He didn't have a defibrillator at his office in Maryland, I think. But he was one of the top jaw guys. To give you the Brad Pitt look. So, yeah, I don't know. It's like this. If Steve will do it, can make, 20 million, 30 million, $100 million, then I guess Clavicular can do it too. Look at these fucking subs, man. It's crazy. Crazy. Let me see here. Ba 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 da ba da ba. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see this. Is this working? Is this working? Yeah. Yeah, boy. How fat do I look today? See, that's good. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So like another 10 pounds. 10 pounds before my dinner, my Christmas dinner. I bought my friends. I got. Maybe buying dinner for everyone in Alinea is enough for, but if you're staying at someone's house, that's where I think you have to buy them a Christmas present. I don't think getting someone like one thing and getting another person one thing is like a big deal when you're paying $2,000 for dinner. You've known these people for a long time. I think people should be more mindful of like how to be a good guest and be accommodating. You want to stay out of everyone's way. You want to be like, how do I contribute? You don't want to be. I had like a consulting position once where it was a nightmare because the son that was like head of the technology department had a different vision for the company than his father, who was the CEO. And I was like stuck in the middle, like saying, I don't agree with what your son's doing and you don't agree with it, but you're too afraid to talk to him. And so you hired me to be like this middle ground person. And all I'm doing is creating more work for you guys. So I have to like, I don't know what to do. And then he said like, well, maybe it's best if you find something else. That was after like 3 months. They paid me like 18 grand. I didn't really do anything. I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, there was just a fundamental misunderstanding. They thought I could like be a mediator, father and son, weird, like awkward situation. It was very strange. I was like, whatever. I literally didn't deserve even the 18 grand. I spent like 3 hours of work there. There's nothing I could do. Like the son kept like blocking me out of everything. His father hired me as this passive aggressive, like this guy is who you need to have as part of like your team, and he needs to help you build this out because you don't know what you're doing. The son would create all this stuff. The results weren't there because the father's like kind of way of like delivering those assets, the package assets were just not, was not congruent. So the whole thing was a nightmare. It was in like the health fintech space. It was absolutely crazy. And then they had a data breach. I remember looking to see what the company was up to. They had a data breach on their site, which kind of doesn't endear people to give you their private information. So that was bad. Okay, let's see. Football scores. Jacksonville's up. I think that'll be fixed. We'll see. Maybe I'm an idiot. The Houston's up, Detroit's up. Okay, I don't remember what my picks were, but it doesn't seem like I'm doing very good at this time. But extremely confident. I love that one. I think Phil will let you bet what you want to bet. They're going to force the line on you. They're going to cap you unless you're a newbie. Maybe they let you the way you want to bet, but I don't think so. I think more than likely they're going to like, listen, Phillip Rivers is on one leg. This is a ridiculous situation. Imagine being Richardson, drafted number 1 overall or whatever it was, and you're just like taking a back seat. It's like, it's kind of a joke. It's kind of pathetic, actually. It's kind of sad. You get completely cucked by like a guy who's a geriatric. Whatever. That's life, man. Asmongold, what are you doing?
We have to put these police officers in jail. We do. They have to go to jail. It's not enough to put the people that are the criminals in jail. We have to put the people that enabled them in jail too.
That's not the police. It's not the
judges, all the way down the line.
Yeah, well, it's not just the police officers, it's the judges, it's the politicians that are like liberal that aren't prosecuting people. Do you think that you should just beat up the bobbies that don't even have guns in fucking Britain, or you should beat up Keir Starmer? How is it that Keir Starmer hasn't had like someone break his jaw? How is it that every time these people get arrested, they just take it up the ass by the cops? They don't fight. Why is it that always the videos are always an immigrant fighting the cops, but like the Britons have just become completely weak, pathetic people with like bad teeth and like no muscle mass, like no vitamin D. It's like awful. You take away the guns and look what happens. You get acid attacks, you get stabbings. You would be deformed. In and out, very clean. You're good. You're alive. But acid in your face? Fuck that. Fuck that. Especially the women. What? This mic, man, fucking with my flow. The women getting deformed, not cool. Sons and daughters, not cool. Getting stabbed up, not cool. Having immigrants like do something bad, like rape someone, and then like you give them like a suspended sentence because they don't know, like they're not acclimated. But I retweet that the guy raped the girl and I go to jail for 2 years. That's what's happening, and people are too afraid to literally do something to scare the shit out of the politicians there. It's very bizarre because it is a form of control. It is designed to get people completely cucked before it gets really bad, like V for Vendetta bad, where you're like taken out of your house and thrown into like a fucking chamber underground, like gulag or something. No one ever hears from you again. Fall of Soviet Union. This is what's happening. This is the end of an empire. We have a hot war going on with Ukraine, or the United States with Russia vis-a-vis Ukraine. And I think we have a hot one that it's not being publicized with China. And I think Venezuela is going to get pretty interesting because they lost everything thus far. They've lost Syria, which had no resources, but Bashar al-Assad is a friend of China. So that's kind of sad. And, you're hurting one of your people. You might lose Iran. That's the Turkish-Iranian gas pipeline to the Western Europe that would undermine Rosneft and Gazprom in Russia. So then Putin kind of takes it up the ass there. There's another threat controlled by a Western puppet regime. And then you lose the lithium reserves in Argentina. Javier Milei pushed into the platform. All these charges from the SEC against Elon Musk for his acquisition are thrown out with the bathwater as soon as he starts pumping Javier Milei. Lena Khan backs off. The FTC chair just backs it off. Very odd. How interesting. Javier's first trip as president, not to Brazil, which is the standard for an Argentinian president. No, it's to Israel. Then Maduro, largest offshore oil reserves in the entire world, we're saying, oh, he's a cocaine dealer. Give me a fucking break. But if you're the BRICS, and the BRICS is even real, or you're just, say, Russia and fucking China, just those two, fuck Indonesia. It's like, what is that? It's a good place to go surfing on the cheap. You can't lose no one takes you seriously. Like the actual competition against the United States. I remember Maduro like 3 or 4 years ago saying there's a brand new world. He was talking about this, like kind of, the U.S. dollar the U.S. is not going to push people around. The U.S. dollar will not be the reserve currency. He's kind of insinuating this. And now all of a sudden we're talking about overthrowing him. I'm like, so is this just rhetoric? I think they're fucking Chinese submarines there. I think the hypersonic missiles and all that, this is all in play. I would even argue to foster U.S. relations, we could have like a false flag with the United States government actually kills a lot of innocent people in the United States and blames it on China just to unify the country. Why not? That's what you need. These are the games they play to stay in power. Otherwise, you just stop believing them. Planned helplessness. 85% or 30% of the population has an IQ under 85%. Those people have liabilities. Families, mortgages, taxes due. They're as docile as Hindu cows. You got to keep, just in case, let's blow up let's blow up a city. Not New York, but like something that people don't care about, like Miami. Like, who gives a fuck? You know, like it's like the most boring city in the entire world. After Art Basel, let's actually modern, diabolic, anti-Christian, just garbage. Yeah, let's do that. And then everyone just succumbs back to the what do you call it? The Patriot Act. They tell on their neighbors. You saw that during like next door during COVID, or like people like calling the cops and like their friend, like their next door neighbor's son who's not wearing a mask, who's like basically a toddler. He's like 5 years old in the corner. Like, yeah, this like black kid is like not wearing a mask. It's like, and then she like, yeah, thank you. You could just check on him. Thanks. And then she like waves to the kid, and it's like, this is the type of shit that was going on. People love power. I'm 6'6". When I see a guy like walking his dog in my neighborhood, I used to see them like be stern to their dog in front of me because I could steal their wife and fuck her in the ass. And they're like, I have to do something to like show my masculinity. So I'm gonna abuse my dog in front of this like monster of a man. Yeah, people love they need something. They need something. The reason why like female correctional officers fuck all the inmates is because of like, there's a power dynamic there where in their world they're overweight and like underappreciated, but in the world of the prison system they can bring in gifts, and these black guys are like jacked to the gills because there's nothing better to do than push-ups. We'll like buy them a cell phone and give them $500 in exchange for them bringing in heroin or some coke, or let them like drug deal, and then they create this like this lauding over this like feigning over this woman putting the pussy on the pedestal, when in the real world her pussy is not on the pedestal, it is on the ground. It is bound by the bedroom slipper. But she likes it because this guy loves her and she's like special in this world. That's where corruption comes from. It's like, I am isolated, incestuous. How many people get married that go to the same school, or get married because they work in the same office as someone? This incestuous relationship that isn't natural. The whole thing is fake. It's rigged. It's a lie. And it's part of it is your own prison that you build for yourself. This cocked little prison. Let's go back to Clav. Clav, I'm sorry. Clav viewers went from 32 down to 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, boys. Come on now. Yeah, dude, it'll make you get out of bed at 5 in the morning because like your Tinder went off, and you'll go to drive an hour and a half with some fat bitch. Yeah, like the most disgusting shit. And you don't believe it? Like,
Negging fat girls is great. They love you. They love you. They want it. They want to be put in their place. There's a yes, daddy, please. I am a disgusting pig. Keep talking about it. They like it. They're very grateful. Watch Sideways. He understands this perfectly. Paul Giamatti's friend at the restaurant, that scene and subsequently what happens after, I'm not going to spoil it. That's exactly right. Go to a brunch at a fancy hotel, neg some fat bitches. You might have a future investor for your startup or your hedge fund or whatever. And you have a friend for like a loyal bitch. Especially if she's over 40. You got to lock that shit down. You don't have to even work. She'll just like take care of you if you're one of those guys. It's like, I want to go play tennis in Mallorca next month. Can you pay for that, honey? Can we put that on the American? This fucking mic. Can we go pay? Can you pay for my flight? Can we put that on the American Airlines black card? What is it called? The executive chairman card or something? We'll get the miles on it. I just want to play tennis and work on my tan. And then maybe find a sugar baby for the weekend or something like that. There's economies of scale for everything. Some people go to Thailand, stuff like that. I'm not like a sex tourist. My sex tourism would be like Ukraine with like a girl who looks like she should be on the cover of Vogue. That makes sense. That economies of scale. It's like in New York City, you can find a lot of beautiful girls, a lot of gorgeous girls that are not, picked like that. You can also go to Ukraine and find one that's like baking cakes. And once she turns 25, there's a whole group of younger ones, and it's like kind of becomes easier and easier and easier to like maintain these relationships if you don't have like an income of $3 million a year. But in general, I think women are like very complicated creatures because biologically they just are supposed to nest, and like you as a man are supposed to like kind of almost be independent of the family unit. You're supposed to like dominate, fight, kill, yada, do all these things. You're supposed to like win, and that's not really like indicative of like a woman's want, which is you to be like cucked to her so that she feels like there's a nest and she feels safe. So the whole thing is kind of fucked.
Bad.
Thank you. Well, he ordered food. Yeah, she's working on it. I don't know the CEO.
I got my single burger.
So you ordered.
And see, I've been at the Austin Streamer Christmas party. I just did. It's literally that simple, and I've been having problems with that a lot recently, right? And do you have an assistant that filters messages? I mean, like for like sponsorships, yeah, of course, right? But like not for like personal messages, no. So you get somebody you trust to help filter it. No, then I have to talk to them. And also, there are a lot of opportunities and things like that happen that I have to make a decision on one way or another, right? So, yeah. It's my worst nightmare. I have autism. I don't know if I have autism or not, but like I know that something's not right. You know, I don't know what it is exactly. Like in your, it doesn't quite work.
It looks like Asmongold from like the background that he's a hoarder, but probably not. I don't know. It's like he's like in the corner of a bigger room. There's this is a mess. Dude, how do people stream? And how people can watch a streamer for more than like an hour? A half hour, 10 minutes. I don't understand it. Like, how do you handle this? Like every day, just like going through Twitter and talking about random bullshit. If you don't like it, you should just do it when you want to do it. Like that's the thing. Like, why do I want to pander to you? One of the things about stand-up comedy when you're coming up and you're doing shows is a lot of it's pandering. You're regurgitating your jokes. You're like trying to like build a repertoire to then have an hour and then repeat that over and over and over again and get paid for it. I don't want to do that. Like I never liked that. I want to do my own thing, different every time. You know, I want to have a new set every time, but it's just off the cuff. I want to fucking talk about what I want to talk about, and I want to podcast or stream for as long as I want to do it, and I don't want to have to do it if I don't want to do it. Take days off, take a break, relax, and it shouldn't be hours. It's not the Joe Rogan experience talking directly to camera. You should be able to like do a show for an hour, call it a day, and then move on. Go have a cheeseburger, relax. I've been streaming for 57 minutes. That's enough. That's good. It's Christmas time. Why are you watching? Go take your dog to the park, put on Die Hard, call, a girlfriend over, have her wear one of the Santa hats and nothing else. Go play some tennis or whatever you people do. I don't know, like throw the football in the leaves, with one of your little nephews and enjoy that. I remember I volunteered for a deaf school in Washington, D.C. One of the kids was really mean to the other deaf kids. He was kind of like a jackass, a little narcissist. We were playing dodgeball. I fucking just pegged the shit out of that kid. He started crying, but I did it so that other people would see that he's vulnerable, and maybe he in himself would be like, I understand why or what it feels like to cry and to hurt other people. I didn't help him. I wanted everyone to see. Yeah. All right. I'm done. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.